Welcome back to Cheddar, everyone. Home fitness startup Tonal announced it has closed on $110 million in new funding, bringing the company's total funding to $200 million. The latest investment was backed by an all-star lineup of athletes, including Steph Curry, Paul George, Bobby Wagner, and Michelle Wie. Joining us now is Aly Orady, who is the CEO and founder of Tonal. Great to have you here with us today. Let's dive right in. The home workout space become increasingly crowded during the coronavirus pandemic. What distinguishes Tonal from competing brands in this market?
Well, we're the leaders in strength training. So Tonal is the leading connected strength training product on the market. Our system is a home gym with personal training built in. We spent 3.5 years engineering it. The technology using electromagnetic weights is really unique. We've now been in market for about a year and a half and have picked up quite a bit of momentum. We're also the only intelligent fitness company on the market where our product experience is actually based on a lot of AI and personalization. A lot of what's happened in connected fitness utilizes experiences like studio experiences, studio cycling, studio rowing. We try to deliver an experience a lot like having a personal trainer where everything is personalized to you. And that's a really, really important part of strength training properly.
I want to make sure I heard that correctly. Electrometric weights, is that correct? And if not, explain to us further how this strength training really goes about with a product such as this.
Yeah, Tonal uses electromagnetic weights.
Gotcha.
That means that we don't generate force using big metal plates and gravity. We generate force using electricity. That allows us to give you a really compact strength training machine that can fit in your home. It's about the size of a TV. It can generate up to 200 pounds of force. It's also smart force in that it's adaptive. There's a spotter built in where if you're struggling, it will automatically help you out. There's AI that decides how much weight you should lift, decides when the weight should go up or down, and adapts the pacing of the workouts to you.
Okay, and so let's talk about some of the athletes. In addition to Steph Curry, other stars that participated in your most recent funding round, you've also got Serena Williams, Klay Thompson, Tony Gonzalez, also previously investing in your company. How have you been able to attract so many high-profile athletes?
A lot of that's really been driven by word of mouth. The first professional athlete to invest in Tonal was actually Tony Gonzalez. He had started doing some investment in the startup space. And one day we got a phone call and said, "Hey, Tony's in town and he's heard about Tonal." This was before we were still in stealth. We weren't even publicly announced, but he got wind of what we were up to. He swung by, demoed the product, loved it, and invested. And that's generally been the story over and over again. Athletes have heard about this through word of mouth and ended up, buying the product or touching the product, falling in love with it and investing. In Steph Curry's case, he actually bought the Tonal off our website under a pseudonym. We didn't even know it was him. Later, it emerged that he was in love with the product, was using it a lot, and approached us for an investment.
Well, that's a great success story there then. Your company is also partnering with the Mayo Clinic to do clinical trials for use in physical therapy applications. How will this work with clients at home and not in the doctor's office?
Well, strength training is foundational to physical therapy and rehab. Most PT clinics have strength training equipment that they use in order to rehab patients. The Mayo Clinic study is to prove out the efficacy of Tonal in those clinical environments. This study is particularly for lower back pain, but the intention is for it to be used in all sorts of physical therapy and rehab applications, both in clinic and eventually also in home as well. Strength training it's a really important part of rehab, and rehab is a really important part of being fit and living your strongest life.
Okay, and so one of the largest headwinds, of course, hasn't hit just yet perhaps, but when we do see gyms reopening back to full capacity, when the country starts to reopen back up, how does Tonal plan to really keep engagements high with some of its existing users and consumers right now?
Well, for members who have already taken the leap, bought Tonals, installed them in their homes, and built out home gyms, they've really formed entirely new habits around exercise from home. And what we hear consistently throughout our communities and from our members is they're never going back. Once you've discovered the convenience of exercising at home, there's no point in spending the time driving to and from the gym. And for everyone else who hasn't yet taken the plunge into connected fitness, they have had to build entirely new habits around exercise. And the same way that people have learned to cook, they've embraced grocery deliveries into their homes. they're they've figured out how to strength train or do their cardio at home or outdoors, and those habits are going to stick. It's not going to just snap back to people rushing back to gyms, even when they do fully reopen.
How many total users are we talking right now?
We have tens of thousands of members using the product right now,
Okay.
and we've told people our run rates are well over $100 million in terms of sales run rates,
Wow.
and that's pre-holiday season. We're expecting a pretty big lift heading into the holidays, and we're pushing our supply chains at max capacity right now.
Okay, and just earlier this summer, while we have you, Lululemon acquired home fitness company Mirror. We do know $500 million. Has any company approached you about an acquisition thus far?
We are running Tonal. We are planning to go all the way, well beyond an IPO, and that's how we're structuring our business. You wouldn't do trials with the Mayo Clinic. Those trials generally take well over a year. You wouldn't run those things if you weren't planning on going all the way. That's our intention. We're building the largest, most sustainable business we can. And of course, we do that by starting with a focus on our members and delivering great outcomes to them.
Love to hear it. Aly Orady, who is the CEO and founder of Tonal. Thanks so much for the time. We appreciate it.